especially in a modern day context, the term anti-hero has become too vague. If you go to Google and find the Heroes Wiki and go to the anti-hero category, they have Walter White from Breaking Bad and Gru from Despicable Me in the same category. That should tell you something. Because what anti-hero more or less means, some people might have more specific definitions, some might have more vague definitions, but it tends to mean something along the lines of those who have heroic goals but have not traditionally heroic methods and or traits. And what that means is going to depend on the work. So if you're someone who, so if you're a character that, enjoys a good fight, in one work that might make you a straight up hero in comparison to the world around you, and another world that might make you a villain. So yeah, that's the first problem with that term, is that like each world is going to have different moral standards. The second problem, and this applies more to my point about in a modern day context, is the difference between anti-hero, anti-villain, which is loosely defined as a antagonist who either has a code of honor, a sympathetic backstory, or has understandable goals, and the villain protagonist, the character that would be the antagonist, but the story has done in a way where it's done from their point of view. And both the two ideas I just mentioned are kind of big at the moment. So trying to separate those three ideas can get kind of complicated, because like you got your Walter Whites, your Dexter Morgans, and your Raymond Reddingtons, who they're not heroes. They're not heroes because their goals are not heroic, but because we follow them so often, it's easier to sympathize with them because we know why they think what they think. So yeah, that's my problems with it. So yeah, that's that's why when someone just calls a character an anti-hero, that it's like you need to be more specific, because it's just like there's so many different ways that term goes now that, well, it's kind of a useless term. Oh, at some point I'm gonna speaking of a villain protagonist, at some point I'm gonna do my top 5 villain protagonists, and some of them will and so maybe top 10. It's like I haven't decided yet. And some of them will be on my main channel, and others will be on my channel, other channel, One Man's View. And when I do, I'm gonna post. It's like the previous videos in each one. So that's about it.